This is a seek bar with the new chapters feature, and render as chapters enabled. As you'll see here, the sponsor section actually appears separated from the other areas, kind of like the native YouTube chapters. And the idea is to have crowdsourced custom chapter names, but integrated seamlessly, just like the native chapters. So here we have two sections, one called introductory section, one called conclusion section, and you'll see when you hover over it, you can see the name. It appears as like a separate section. Here is an empty section in the middle, and then here's the title. And so that's one big difference between this chapter and the official chapters, is you can actually label just specific parts of the video, because all chapters actually have an end time. And the advantage there is that you can actually get more and more precise in your chapters, such as inside of a conclusion chapter. If someone else has already made a conclusion chapter, you can add another section inside there about a more specific part of the conclusion. So that can make it more collaborative, and also just make it so you can get slowly more detailed as more people work on it. The way the chapters appear is there's now a segment section and a chapter section in the pop-up here, and you'll see there's now coloring here, and so the gray is for sections that have already been covered, and the blue is stuff you're already in, and then once you pass it, everything's gray, and before one of them's white, because this is before the chapter section, the conclusion section. And just to demo actually creating a chapter, when you create a segment, you can choose now chapter category, and then here you get a area to type in a title. And one interesting thing now is that it will actually have a autocomplete menu, so you can autocomplete chapter names based off other chapters that have been submitted for that channel. So the idea here is it's not for chapters across the entire of YouTube, but just chapters on this channel. And the idea is if all the chapter names can be consistent across videos, then you'll be able to auto skip based off like a regular expression of a chapter name or something like that. There is no actual feature for auto skipping by a regular expression, but that could be a feature in the future if it is true that chapter names end up being consistent because of the autocomplete. And yeah, so the idea is like even here you can, at the same time, you can make introductory section, and then in here you can say like this part to this part is the first point they make, where you'd explain what the actual point is. And then another new thing here is the sort button, so you can make sure like if you when you're working with chapters, like it's confusing if you put something earlier, so you can click the sort button and fix that all up. One other thing is there's also import and export now, specifically for having comments. So if you notice like a comment, you'll see this when you click the export button, it goes into your clipboard and it looks like this. This is kind of similar to a YouTube comment that already exists. So it also supports a bunch of different formats. So like you can just have a format like this, and basically if you see a comment like this, you can actually copy it, paste it into here, and then have like if someone else has already done labeling, you can import it in, and then you could modify the times to be more precise, and then you could submit it. And so when it's like this, when you import it, it will automatically make it so that like the end time of the introductory section is the start time of this one, just so that it can support the one timestamp format, but it supports both formats.